from the minute the Taliban took over, a whole bunch of sanctions hit Afghanistan. And the issue is with the Afghanistan government, 70 to 80% of their budget came from foreign aid, if I'm correct. How quickly did things unravel in Afghanistan from the moment the Taliban took over?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. 70 to 80% of the Afghanistan GDP comes from international aid. They don't have a domestic GDP. They don't have anything to rely on. So basically, overnight, people lost jobs. Overnight, people lost their living. People lost their incomes. Overnight, people who were doing really well, the middle class was basically wiped. The like it's times when depressions hit and 30-40% of the middle class basically loses their jobs and uh, is having a difficult time to provide for their families. In this case, overnight the middle class was completely wiped. There was either the very rich, or and the very rich, they left the country. They had
Mm.
means to leave the country, and then you are left with the very poor, and the middle class joined the very poor. So now everybody became poor and jobless. The jobs basically did not doesn't exist anymore, and that happened overnight. And now that it's been a year that those people haven't had jobs or incomes. So even if they had some savings and they had some money and they had a way of feeding themselves for that time, well, now that doesn't exist either. So the humanitarian disaster that unraveled after the Taliban invasion in the US pullout, uh, it is something that has never been seen before. It's not one of those humanitarian crises that unravels over many months or decades. It unraveled overnight, and it continues to get worse every day. And I don't even understand how it can get worse because 90% of the population is living below the poverty line, and they are surviving on one meal a day. So if if that's not something that is telling us that it doesn't get worse than that, and
Mm.
a lot of the times we can't really put a we can't put a tangible feeling to it. Like we don't know what that really means. It's words and it's figures and it's analysis, but in reality you can't in tangible ways to actually deliver the message to people to have them feel what it is like is basically non-existent, because in this part of the world we just don't understand that. But if you go there and you see is that people are selling their children on the street to support themselves over a month or 2 months. So